welcome back to Wendy's Colouring, and today I'm going to hopefully finish off the page that I started in my Summer Nights Artist Edition by Hanna Karlzon. Yeah, I have coloured the front cover of. I think I did it in some kind of alcohol marker and a bit of glitter gel pen by the look of it. There's a little bit of bling on it. Did that a very long time ago. But yes, we did start, excuse my scrollings on the back. Whoop, there we go. We did start on this page, which is now loose leaf with this Summer Nights edition. So if you remember, I did all of this with my Grey Bee watercolours last time. So I've got a base of variety of watercolours down there, but the detail work I'm going to do in pencil over the top now. Well, not over the top, but in bits I haven't done. So I've got my monster case, monster case out, and yeah, I am using my old favourites. So I've got my, excuse me, let's move that up so I can actually flip through this. So I've got my well-loved Holbeins, some of which are tiny and on extenders, and I've got straight after my Luminance. So that's what I'm going to use for this particular piece. I'm going to flip that round the other way. As you can see in my case, I don't have a swatch out because I have swatches on my case, so it just saves having those things out. If I'm honest, I use all these so much that I don't really need to look at a swatch for them anymore, but we've got to start with them somewhere, haven't we? So I've made no massive decisions really about what I'm doing with these. I'm going to need a pencil sharpener. Oh no, where is it? There. Okay, so I've picked out my huge red, permanent red 61, if you want to know what colours. I'll try and tell you what they are, but you know what these are like. It's probably, it's going to be numbers. I'm not going to be reading out these ridiculous tiny printed numbers. I've also pulled out 580, which is something carmine. I don't know. Can you read it with the camera? Possibly you can. That anyway. That's it. I love these pencils, but who do they think can read that? No. You'd think they'd know better, really, wouldn't you? But clearly artists have better eyesight than I have left now. So, using the darker one first, just around the edge of my little gem. I don't know why I'm starting here, just this huge gem just keeps winking at me, so that's where I wanted to start. I don't know if I want to keep the highlight there, but we'll see for now. See how we go. And yeah, I'm not going to do anything too spectacular on this, I don't think. I think I'm just going to shade them as best I can. Obviously a lot of this is going to be pretty detailed. It might be better if you go in a bit, to be honest, might it? Maybe that would be better. I think we could do with Cherry Blossom, whatever it is. So my favourite when I'm using this red is to accompany it with my Holbein. Is it going to focus? There you go, Cherry Blossom 11. I just find it's really useful for just knocking the edges back like that. So it just softens your highlight edge. And because the Holbeins are a little bit more waxy than the Luminance, you can also flatten their texture a little bit with it as well if you don't want to see it. Just gives it that slightly more smooth impression, particularly for a gem that you want smoothness in it. And Luminance will always go over the top of the Holbeins again. I don't know why, but they always do. Holbeins will get, particularly because this Summer Nights artist copy, this paper's quite smooth. So I think if I just did Holbeins on here, it would probably get to the point where they won't layer anymore, because they're not a huge lover of really smooth surfaces. But Luminance, I'm not bothered with that at all. Now there's other gems on this page that I want the same, so I want that one the same. Is there another one of those? I don't think there is there? So we'll do this one down here to match. Oh, there's that one. Oh, and that one. In fact, there's a few down here. Don't. Not even on camera, man. Don't. double dough. Yeah, so I filmed this afternoon, the painting bit of this. I have no idea when I'm releasing this video yet. So you might have only just seen the other one, or that might have been up for weeks, who knows. But for me, I'm filming these two together. The other one took me ages. Painting takes me so long. I don't see this being quick either. Oh, I may as well have done that bottom one as well. Yeah, painting takes me ages. It's nice, isn't it? It's relaxing. But it's, in some respects, takes me longer. Probably because I haven't done as much of it, but... So, don't know why I decided all these gems are going to be red. Hadn't really thought about it. I've just gone with it. Kind of looks okay, doesn't it? I suppose I'm probably going to keep these to a pretty warm colour palette just because you've got so much of this purple already going on. Might want a white in a minute as well, which I've stupidly put away. Can I reach? There we go. Things like whites I keep in my Artex foamy things. As you can see, a variety of whites: Derwent whites, Holbein whites, Caran d'Ache whites, and a random near colour that I keep meaning to put away in my small tin. I never get the small tin out, so it's just lived in there for ages now. But they're quite handy for pencils that there's just no point of putting away because I will need them. As quick as you've put them away, I will need them again. And the other thing I've lost is my little brush. Is that in here? Yeah. Thinking we might need another light. Does that make it brighter? A little bit. Okay, so those big size gems are all done. Question is whether to do these little ones the same. I'm going to keep that set out on the desk. I'm thinking kind of need to do the bit I've been hoping to avoid, which is all the metal work. And I'm thinking I'm going to do these as though it's gold, so I want quite a warm yellow. I normally use a kind of warmy brown and a quite dark brown. Let me have a look at that one. I'll probably do. So I've got out again numbers. Uh-oh, here we go. 520 golden bismuth yellow. I've got 066 natural russet, and finally sepia 407. Where to start? There's just so much of it on here. So all of these bits I'm thinking I'm going to do as though it's gold, and it's kind of already got like a highlighted shape in it. So it's whether to do this as something completely different or whether to use that as a highlighted shape. So this has got the dots on, so I might do it like those are something that's been inlaid into the surface. That might make some sense, do you know? I'll try that. So with all these things, you're just thinking about shadow, highlight, reflection, with it being metal, where light's likely to hit it in its curves, which bits of the curve are likely to be in shadow. Is the idea. Sometimes it doesn't go well, but you know, it's just a bit of pattern, isn't it? It's not the end of the world if it doesn't quite look shiny by the end. Then I go in with the russet. So really the russet, I'm just putting any bits that I think are more likely to be in shadow. So where this inlay is, where there's a join, where there's a curve, because that's curving downwards, I'm going to put a little bit on there. Then this bit is obviously one piece is overlaid the other, it's going to cause a little bit of darker tone. Same here, right in a bit. Maybe enough, and then in with the sepia that does not wish to focus. It's sepia anyway. Sepia 407. Not going to go mad with this, you only want a small bit of the very dark because this will overpower the rest very quickly, and it's the darkest bit of shadow and not a huge amount will, especially in an arrangement like this, it's not going to be super dark. So just put little bits on here and there. Then I always go back in with the yellow and blend that a little bit. So basically just soften it in with the yellow. If you end up going over your highlights, not the end of the world, you can always go in with an acrylic marker later. Sometimes in these narrow spaces it's going to happen. I'm just kind of moving it about a little bit with the yellow really. And then, yeah, I'll look at it. What do I think? Sometimes I might go back in with the russet just to add a bit more, like it feels a little bit light around here. That needs to be a little bit darker where the overlap is as well. Just that bit. Okay. So, I need to make a decision about that inlay, but I'm going to do all this gold colour work first. So I'm going to do those bits all the same, so there's probably not a huge amount of me videoing me doing basically that same loop. I've got to do that same loop there, and there. Oh, and on this side as well. I'm going to do this a different metal. I'm probably going to do that the same metal as well. So I'll probably come back to you when I've done this on basically all these little loopy bits, just to see what that looks like. But I'm basically going to repeat what I've already done, so just continuing to use these same 3 and I shall be back. Okay, so I've done all of the little goldy bits, or bits that I think I'm going to be goldy. Yeah, took a little bit of time, but they're all kind of in there now. So I'm going to do these little 4 flowers, and I've picked out, as you might have seen already, a little selection of colours. So purplish red 350, 2 Holbeins. I've got my cherry blossom 11 again, and I've also got carnation, which is 31. So it basically gives me dark mid and light again, and I probably will use a little bit of white as well, but we'll see as we get going. Okay, so I'm gonna have them darker in the centre, and I've kind of deliberately picked this because it kind of is similar to what I've used in the middle. So oh, hello, snap, heavy-handed. So I thought it might work quite nicely with what I've already got starting to work. And the other bits, I might actually use a little bit of the red that I was using before, so I can't remember what it was. It was something, oh no, it was permanent red 61, so I think I'm going to use a little bit of that as well, just to make that a little bit richer in colour. Then I'm going to chuck them all over the place because I'm an idiot. I might just bring that up a little bit more. Maybe do it with a sharpen on my combine a little bit. Sorry, excuse the turning. I just want to get some finer lines in there. Oh, snappy. My eyes out one of these days with the snapping. And on to the next one. It's kind of okay. If I wasn't filming, I'd probably faff about with it a bit more. But we'll be here for far too long if I'd start doing that. So I'm trying not to do that. Okay, so again, it's kind of how I've got it. I've got 1, 2, 3, another 3 of them to do that are exactly the same. So it makes sense that I just throw the pencil somewhere, that I do the other 3, and then we'll carry on. So I shall pause you and do the other 3. Okay, so I've done the 2 at the top and the 2 at the bottom. And yeah, I need to make a decision about where I'm working next on it. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit on the butterfly, because there's quite a lot of pattern in here to develop. And I've also got to think about what I'm doing with this big circle, because it kind of feels like I've got quite a bit of this kind of goldy colour already, but this kind of feels like it's a bit metal based as well, because this column goes into these little loops. So yeah, need to think about those bits, but for now I think I'm going to work in the butterfly. I've still got this handful of pencils that I was working the flowers in, so I'm thinking I'm going to put a bit of this colour in there, but obviously this is right next to this purpley background, so I don't want anything near the edge, because otherwise we'll lose the butterfly a little bit. So I was just thinking a little bit of this kind of pattern work in the wings somehow. So I don't want it near the edge though, neither one of those is going to be near the edge, so maybe we'll start with this little bit in the middle. You can hear my dog heavy breathing. She's on her little mat in my room. I think she's having a bad dream. She's making heavy breathing noises. But yeah, she's fine. She's just having a bad dream. Oops. Apologies for my husband's sneeze if you can hear that. Yeah, quite like that little bit. Where else can I use this combination? Get away with it in there a little bit, I think. Inside these triangles. So there's like 1, 2. Don't know if I do want them in there. No, I'll just set it. Not being very decisive, sorry. I'll do these little semicircles, I think. Ooh, that's a tiny one. Yeah, it's okay. Now, what else? There's little semicircles in there that kind of match, don't they? But I don't think I'm going to need all these colours. I might just do them with these two, I think, because these are tiny. Let's try them like this. Yeah, that's alright. Do the same again on this side. Let's pop in a bit of, what is this one? Carnation. Not a colour I use a huge amount of this. I think this was out my original Holbeins that I got in. I think I got them in 2020. I'd ordered them just before lockdown and all of that. Okay, I think I'm going to need some more colours, but I've no doubt I'll use them again, so we'll keep them there. I'm thinking some kind of orangey tone, maybe yellow. Let's have a look. Oop. Got one of the yellows out, haven't I? So, no idea what I'm doing with them yet, but I quite like this combination. So I've got orange 30, I've got the yellow I had out, oh no, this isn't the one I had out before. Yellow Oak 34, this is the one I had out before. 820, golden bismuth yellow. So, think I'm going to use the orange down here, maybe into the yellow ochre, this one. And then finally, the last, I might need something lighter. Where is that lighter one? Yep, I'll use the lighter one instead. So this has seen better days, but this is my Holbein Cream 127 that I'm going to need to sharpen. It is a cream, but it's really a yellow, as you can see. It's kind of a really lemon yellow, just to do that little highlight bit there, I think. Yeah, like that. I'm going to do the same on all 4 of these, so I want the orange. Nearly did it wrong then. I want the yellow ochre. And then the cream. Excuse the turning. Okay. So I think I just want something just to darken down the 2 lines. What do we want? Maybe, is that dark enough? Yeah, what's this one? Autumn Leaf 59. Only going to use a very tiny amount of this, just because obviously the 2 wings are joining. I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker line, if it will show even, hardly, between them. Might need something darker actually. Does that show? Yeah, something darker I think we need. Maybe try that one. What's that one? Light red 54. Sadly, also needs to quickly see the sharpener because this is a fine line. Yeah, that'll do. Where else do I want this combo? So I think I might use it in this little space. It almost looks like a little bit of a flower in itself, this bit. But we'll keep using this same colour combo, I think. Excuse me while I turn it again. These pencils are just too short to be trying to do them at an angle, so they've sadly seen better days. Yeah, I like that, okay. I'm tempted to carry on this colour down here in these, some of these triangles, because they're a good enough distance away from what I've done already. Won't be able to use them in these ones though, because those are too close, I think. We'll do the bottom ones in them. Do I want it dark here or dark there? I think I want it dark here. It's the tricky thing with pattern. There's no right or wrong way, is there? It's just personal taste. And there's a lot of tight little patterns in this. Very close together. It would be very easy to put too much colour on this, I think. I might be guilty of that by the end. So far I think the colours are working okay, aren't they? Fingers crossed. Do I want that orange stronger? No doubt I have got a stronger orange. Let me flick. Okay, yes I have. Is that too... that one's too dark. Let's get the other one. So this one is dark. Is that cadmium? I think it's cadmium, but part of the lettering's worn off. Orange, 533. Not going to go mad with this, just want a little bit, slight bit more darkness. just on the edges. Just because these are slightly bigger spaces. I'm tempted to put a bit in there now I've started. See, this is what I mean. Faffing about with it. Do a bit, just leave it. No, I have to keep faffing about. It's not quite right. Don't know how to get anything finished some months. Just torture myself doing daft things. Okay, I need my original selection back in my hand. I'll keep the darker orange there for now. So this side, I did it darker on that side, so this one needs to be darker on this side. My dog's snoring a bit now, I don't know if you can hear him. Probably not, it's only quite gentle. She's not much of a lady. She'll quite happily burp in your face. Snores. She's proper sprawled out on a mat. She's had a hard day of going to the pet shop and eating cake. It's driving me mad. Back in with the darker one. Just for a little bit of stronger colour on the edge. It's probably only me would ever notice it, but you know, can't be helped. Okay. Got quite a bit of orange building up, haven't we? Gonna need to think carefully about what's going in there. I'm half thinking some kind of purple to kind of echo back what's going on in here. What have I got? I've got these two in Cavendish. So that's kind of similar to that one. And that's similar to that one, but which do I want? I think that's because that's sitting right next to it. I think that's a no. And this is quite dark. I'd like something in that tone, but lighter, I think. That's too pink. How about that? That's better. There's also that one. That's too grey. I think I'm going to go with these two. And possibly, I don't know which of these two is lighter. They're all kind of much of a muchness, aren't they? Let me just sharpen it and I'll show you what they are. Yeah, I can't remember who recommended this sharpener. Love it. It shows it on here somewhere, doesn't it? If you can avoid the sharpness, there you go. Dial 133. I still manage to get sharpenings everywhere. It's like a special skill I've got. But look how nice it sharpens. Yeah. It's a very nice sharpener. Okay, so colour wise, let's try and get you in. Violet 120 is my dark. The mid is, what's this called? Ultramarine Violet 630. I can only read it by looking at the cameras putting out because they're impossible. Come on, focus, you know you want to. Lilac 422. So I'm going to do these bits. This is going to snap as soon as I start to use it. Try not to break it. I think I must be quite heavy-handed because I love them this sharp, but yeah, I just snap every time. Might just go in. Oh no, this one we'll use the mid. Just thinking of these very small ones, we're not going to get 3 colours in there. Maybe get a little bit in that one. Where's the white? Felt a little bit too light. I looked at them from different angles. I'll do the same on this side. To sharpen my white again. Okay, so I'd like to use this purple a little bit on the top wings, so again they're kind of matching. I need to make some decisions about this pattern. This pattern is confusing my brain somewhat. I don't know what to do with it because it's kind of like a little star. Come on, be brave, do something with it. Basically just obliterated part of the pattern there, but you know, never mind.
Here's some information.
Oh. Shut up, Watch. Watch has just told me about Batman. Random. Do I like that in there? Oh yeah, it kind of looks like a big arrow, doesn't it? Done it now. Gonna have to carry on with my giant arrow. Yeah, it's okay. Could have gone much worse. Live with that, I think. Want the dark bit on this side. See, it's not even the same. It's different on the other sides. Do I do that one or not? I don't think I do I? I think that's it. These are going to be a different colour again, aren't they? It's confusing me. Whether to do some more purple in these bits. And those bits. Yeah, I really don't know what colour to do next to those. I'm just putting off having to do the other side now. So I'm like, oh, it's a tricky little bit. See, I just nearly went over that little thin line, thinking I'd forgotten a bit. And just double checked and realised that line was on all of them. Don't go over the line. Right, and this is why I like this combination of pencils, because no matter how many times I put that Holbein on, this luminance will still always go over it. It just allows you to faff about a bit with it, like I like doing. Okay, I'd forgotten about the bit on the top. Oh. So that is the two inner bits. Oops, might have been a bit too much. Okay, so yeah, it's getting a bit late for me here in real time. Let me just go out a little bit. You can kind of see where I'm up to. So yeah, I'm going to carry on, but not in real time. For now, I'm going to stop recording, but for you, it'll carry on again in a second. But it'll be a different day, so the lighting may have changed, because I'll come back to it tomorrow probably. So I've still got quite a bit of pattern work to do in our butterfly. I've still got to make a decision about whether this is going to be the same gold or not. I'm kind of thinking it might be. I still don't know what I'm doing with these little bits, of which there's 3. And then I've got little decorative things like the gems, the stamens on the little flowers, and the odd few gem and highlight and things like that. But it's getting there, isn't it? All in all, I'm fairly pleased with it so far. Been enjoying working on it, but yeah, like I say, it'll carry on for you in a minute, but for me, I'm stopping. So see you in a sec. Okay, so back again, another day. Yeah, you'll see I did, before I turned the camera off last time, I did kind of think, oh, before I put all these pencils away, I'm gonna just do this circular bit in the same gold that I did the outside, so exactly the same colour, same techniques, and I've done these little loops as well on the 3 top one and the 2 sides as well. But other than that, I've not touched it. I've just been checking what colours I had out, so I've got them out again. And yeah, hopefully I'm going to get this finished off today in this session. So yeah, just need to carry on from where I'm up to really. I don't want to add loads more colours to it because I think it's going to get a bit confusing. So where I can, as you can probably see, I've got the sets out that I was roughly using last time. Got the little sets of the lighter yellow, orange that I had there. So I've pretty much fished out the same pencils that I was working the last time with, and now they're all in the way. I'm going to move them there. But I was thinking I'm going to do these little holes, these little squarey, well, triangle-y, these odd shapes. I think I'm going to carry this purple in, so I've fished out the same trio of purple that I've used already in this butterfly. So the 120 violet, the ultramarine 630 ultramarine violet, and my Holbein not showing up as well today. See, it's 422 lilac. It's rubbing off a little bit of that, so it doesn't show up brilliantly. I might just quickly excuse the sharpener, 2 secs, just freshen these up a little bit, I think, before we carry on. Let go of it. Okay, so might bring you in a bit because I feel like I'm miles away. So I'm going to do these little holes, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do with these little bumpy things yet, but for now I think these are going to be in this darker purple. I need my brush already. Crumbs. Pencil crumbs. I'm sure that's not the name for it. That's what I'm calling it. Then I think I'm going to use the Holbein just to blend those out. Easy enough. Do the bottom ones as well. Okay, sure you get the gist. I'm literally going to pause you. I'll do the other side exactly the same and move back. Okay, so I thought I'd just switch the camera back on, but I hadn't. I'd switched it off instead of unpausing it. So I finished these little bits, but you might also have spotted if you're eagle-eyed, I've also used the same little colour scheme in these little stripy bits here as well. Just spent 10 minutes talking to you. Only I was talking to myself because I hadn't switched the camera back on. What an idiot. Anyway, so I'm going to do these little bits of triangles that are here and on the other side. I think we're going to go with the orange kind of yellow colours that I had last time. So I think they were orange 30, they are yellow ochre 34 and Holbein's cream 127 that we used last time. I'm just going to quickly sharpen them. I'll just pause. So we're all sharpened up. I'm going to go on this side first, I think. So we've got a combination here. You've got these funny little triangle shapes, but then we've still got these stripes. But I'm thinking I might do these little stripes in something metallic. Just got the bit of a confusion here that we've got two the same, so maybe that bit should be purple. Maybe that's what I need to do there. That one needs to be purple. And perhaps it makes more sense. Okay, where do I want it darker? I think I want it darker in the little centres. Oh, snap! I'm clearly too heavy-handed to have my pencils this sharp. I like having them this sharp. And then we'll go with the, what was this one called? Yellow ochre. Yes, this morning I've spent the morning fitting a new blind to the window in this room, because the other day when I was in here working, my wooden Venetian blind that was what used to be on the window in this room decided it would just randomly, wasn't touching it, just fall off, land on my head. It rather hurt. It wasn't particularly a fun experience, as you can probably imagine. So I thought, well, that's it. I'm not having that on there again, because that wasn't fun, and it's not doing the best job for actually keeping the light out, which is more importantly, not that it's really sunny where I live. It isn't. I'm in Manchester in the north of England. It's quite rainy, but when it is sunny, this window is at the front of the house and the sun hits the front. So when you're trying to sit here colouring, you are in fact just getting baked in the face, which is not much fun. And the little holes where the threads are in the Venetian blind, yeah, just the light just seems to get here where you're working on my desk all the time, and it's just really annoying. And I also feel like I'm just either sat in the dark or sat baking. There doesn't seem to be any option where I'm not getting light in my face or sitting here with all the lights on, because I've closed them. So I thought, that's it. I'm not having that blind on there again. It's not doing a good job. So yeah, I fitted a perfect fit blind today. I ordered it quite a while ago now. It's taken a while to get here, but I was a bit worried fitting it. Thought, if I can't do this now, I'm going to be annoyed. But yeah, it's on. Quite pleased with it. I can set the blinds in all different sites of places so that I can actually have some daylight, but not get burned in the face. Very pleased. Okay, so I've got this in these sections, and I kind of feel like this orange needs to carry on near the purple out here. So I think I'm going to try the orange in these little frame sections, I think. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, it's quite nice having a bit of daylight whilst filming. And even better, knowing it's not going to land on my head. And if it does, they're only really light little blinds. So yeah, quite pleased with them. More pleased that I managed to be able to do it, because when I was looking at it in the pack, I was like, oh no. What if I can't figure out how to do this? The first one, I might have said a few bad words whilst trying to work it out, but the second one was alright. The second one's worked quite easily. So yeah, quite pleased with it. What do I think? I want to bring the orange down a bit more. Okay, so I've got another 3 of these, exactly the same. It's going to be boring to watch, so I'll do the other 3 and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've done those little sections now. So I've got little tiny bits left, and obviously quite a bit in the body. So I think I need to make some decisions about. I've got a couple more gem things there, so I think I'll pick out the same colours I had for the gems before. So I think it was the hello camera, you know you want to focus really. No, it's gone sleep. There we go. 61 permanent red. I think I had that red that I can't pronounce. 580 something carmine, and my cherry blossom Holbein, I think it's 11. It's probably going to struggle to focus because it's so light. Oh, there you go. 11. So, yes, I've got these little gemmy things here that somehow I didn't spot last time. I'll do both of those. And then don't think these are gems, but I'm going to do them the same little colours. I might do these ones as well, just so it all kind of matches. Maybe do my white, and I've not got that out. Where is it? There's one. Excuse the sharpener again. Ooh. See, I'm just snapping things all the time. Don't know my own strength. Okay, oh, I've got a random bit of pattern there, haven't I? How have I missed that? Easily solved. Oh, I'm one there as well, look. What an idiot. Just as well I got all these colours back out. Purple's going under my sheet. Get off. Okay, have I missed any on this side? No, so I can do the reds I've just done there on this side. I'll have to move you over, otherwise it'll keep unfocusing. I did them semicircle-y things there. I don't know. Where's my red gone? There. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do the same on all these little semicircles along here as well. So I'm going to do all those exactly the same as I've just done these little ones, so that all the gemmy kind of things match. So I'll pause you, do all them, and we'll be back. Okay, so done all those. So just thinking before I put these reds down, do I want them anywhere else? I'm thinking I'm going to do these little kind of gemmy shapes in these the same colour as well. Perhaps should have done those before I switched you back on, but I'd not made the decision till now. I'm going to do these exactly the same as the gems and these little bits and pieces that I've just inside the butterfly. So I'm going to do all three of those little gemmy bits and pieces, and then we shall be back. Okay, so I've done quite a lot of gems, feels like quite a lot of gems. So I've done the gems the same red in all of this kind of metal work. I've done the gems in here, and I've added a little bit of the gold carrying on around the edge of here. Done the gems in here, done a few more bits and pieces in there, and the same gems at the bottom. So still got a few bits and pieces to get done. So I've got this row of gems that goes around the outside, and there's also these kind of hanging gems as well at the bottom. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do those in the Holbein lilac, and I think we're going to use a little bit of pink with it as well. Which one though? I think we'll try this one, which is Fuchsia 436 out of my Holbeins. Let's make a bit of room for other. I'm just going to sharpen the pink a bit as well. Ooh, don't roll off. It's got a mind of its own, that. Okay, so I'll zoom you back in again. Oh, again, I'm going to do a few with you, and then I'll turn it off and do all the rest, because obviously this is going to be pretty repetitive that goes around the edge. And the same with these at the bottom. Once you've seen me do one, I think you've kind of seen me do them all really. So I think all I'm going to do is add a little bit of the lilac. This might not be light enough, but we'll see. Yeah, I think I want a lighter one. Which one have I got that's lighter? So I might swap to this one, which is Rose Pink 429. But again, sadly, it's to see the sharpener. Yeah, that's better. Snap again. And my white. Just to lighten it a bit. Stupidly gone over the edge. I didn't want to. Just try and take a little bit of that off without taking the paint off. Easier said than done, that's better. This is just a, I'm sure you already recognise it, but Tombow Mono Zero. It's just obviously got a very fine point. So yeah, just using the two colours in the little gem shapes, but kind of trying to leave a little bit of white, which depending on the size is easier said than done, just to kind of give this kind of slightly pearly look. I'm going to use that darker one, just a little bit at the bottom. Almost tempted to add a little bit of the purple. Like all of them, except the bottom one. Let's try the bottom one again. Let's have a look. That one's better. So yeah, I'm going to do basically all these kind of hanging gems along the bottom, and there's a couple here. Exactly the same with my collection of two pinks and a lilac. I might use a smidgen bit of the dark, what is this, violet? Yeah, 120 violet out of Luminance, just on the bottoms if I want to highlight, well, low light most, the bottoms, and a little bit of white as well. Then I'm also going to do this circle of gems that goes around the edge as well. And then we're not too far off done then. I've got stars to do, which I'm thinking I might do with metallic paint, or possibly some Pentels. We'll have a look in a second. And I've got this kind of strange square pattern, which I suppose could be gems, couldn't it? Could have it like individual gems. Don't know, need to think about that. But I'm definitely, while I'm going to do all these gems the same, I'm going to do all these gems the same. Need to make some decision about this bit, how I'm going to have these in the flowers, and then these kind of plate bits I'm thinking I might paint, but we'll see. I'm going to carry on these gems at the bottom, and then I shall be back again. Okay, so I've got all of these at the bottom all shaded in. I've started to put a bit of the yellow on for the bits that join the little gems, and I've done this row as well as though they're kind of pearly. So not a huge amount left to do. Got to make some decisions about the body. I've noticed they've got these same triangles that kind of are like these. So I'm thinking I'm going to do these ones in the same purple as I've got there, exactly the same. And then I've got to make some decision about the body. I'm half thinking the body I'm going to do like gold work like I've done in these bits here. So the same pencils that I've used for gold throughout the whole time. So these three, so 820, 66 and 407, and I always use the 820 just to blend the colours together a little bit. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that for all these body bits as well. Then maybe that little bit there as well, and maybe on the edge. Might do those bits as though they're gold as well, I think is what I'm probably going to do. But they're all very repetitive bits, very similar to what I've done already. So I don't think it's worth me doing that on camera. And hopefully at that point, then there's just a few decorative bits and pieces. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to use my Pentel or maybe the Signo glittering ones in these kind of flat plate bits that are around the edge. And maybe they have these glittering, I think. But for now, I think I'm going to finish the body off like I've just described. Add these little gold bits around the edge with the pencils. And we'll come back just to finish off some of the glittery bits. And I'll show you what I would have done with my Artex paint pens, just to get rid of the lines and bits and pieces. So, for example, down here where I've got the gems joining, and obviously I've just started to put the yellow gold back in. Obviously the black lines here really distracts from it being a kind of realistic row of gems. So I'm probably going to put still a little bit of the browns on just to add a bit of shading to it. But here I probably will touch in with a little bit of the Artex just to kind of get rid of some of that black, because it's quite distracting in the beadwork there because the beads are so light coloured. The same is probably going to happen here. I don't know if I'm going to join these in gold because I think the gold might look a bit much there, but the black line work I definitely don't want. So again, I think when I come back, hopefully I've got most of the things done on this butterfly that are basically just repeating what we've already looked at, and we can look at some of the more decorative bits, like I say, with the Pentel, and I'll show you a little bit of what I do with the Artex paint markers just to finish off a piece. Again, I'm not going to film me doing all of it because a lot of it is very repetitive. I think that would be quite boring to watch me touching lines over the entirety of this piece, and there's not a huge amount that I'm going to take out of this anyway because I don't think it needs it. But yeah, I'll finish a little bit of the body off, like I say, just using the same colours and techniques that I've used in the butterfly already, and we'll come back and do a little bit of glitter here and there just to finish it off. Thank you. Okay, so I've got a lot of gems done. I feel like I've done a lot of those. I've worked in the body now, so I've just used the exact same gold as I've been doing all the way around. Inside the body, used the same red gem pattern for this semicircle pattern. The same purple as I've used in the wings, and obviously a few bits of the gems and the purple. And then I've done the antennae, just again, same purples. So obviously we've got the eyebally things there left to do. So I've got out my black 009, and I've got one of the lighter greys out the pack. What's it actually called? Silver grey, and it's 002. To just do a little bit around these little, are they eyes? I don't know if they're eyes, but I'm kind of working them as though they're eyes. So I've just kind of put a little bit of the dark in. I'm just going to soften it with this really soft grey. Same on the other side, just kind of give a little bit of shape, hopefully. There we go. Might need a little bit of white in the eye. Not going to worry too much about the little eyes, but there we go. Pop them in a little bit. Then I've still got to make a decision about these gems. I'm tempted to do them in red. just yeah, they're not looking particularly fun to have to work, are they? But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do those in red. Shall I do those now? I've got those still to decide on. I've still got these odd three little shapes that I kind of feel like I should do it the same gold, but I kind of also feel like I want to do something different there. Oh, I've missed the gems in that one as well. Oh, on that one. Oh no. Okay, let's have a look at these gems anyway. Where's my red? So the usual red that I've been using, so 61 permanent red. I'm thinking each one of these, if I can persuade myself, because it's going to take a while, I'm going to put a little bit of dark in. Then with my cherry blossom, number 11, I'm going to need it sharp though for this, because these are little tiny little things. Then just soften the border of that. I think it's going to need a bit of the darker one as well. What was the darker one? 580. Something that I can't read in carmine. Oh, see, I don't want to have to faff about loads with these, but I'm thinking I'm going to do them like that, which is obviously, it's going to take a while I get round. So, yeah, you guessed it. I've got to do all those now. I'm not going to film myself doing every single square gem because that's going to drive you lot nuts. I've also got to fill these that I've missed in at the bottom as well. So I'm going to do that and I shall be back in a sec. Okay, so I've managed to get my way around all the gems. Hooray! And I finished off the couple of little bits that I'd missed down here. So I think I need to make a bit of room so I can get some pens out for the last bits and pieces. So I think I want all the colours that I've got, and then I can decide what we got now. Gold, silver, pink, blue, purple. I think it's a bit of everything. Green. I haven't got green out. We'll live with those, I think. So these are all, apart from that one, these are all Signos, and they're all in the glittering range. So then they're just glittering gold or glittering orange, etc. So I have orange, blue, silver, red, green, violet and pink as my last one. So I'm just going to use these just to finish off the little bits and pieces that are still white on my little butterfly. I was umming and ahhing about painting them, but these are all quite small and pretty fiddly, so I thought, let's make life easy a little bit. Oh, that's not focusing very well, is it? Let's see if it'll come back. There we go. I don't think it's liking the glitter very much, but yeah, so I've just done that little row of glitter, which I must admit is not very easy to see on camera actually. There you go, a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just gonna start to add bits and pieces of it. I'm probably going to use the gold the most, but I'm thinking I might use a bit of the purple and the pink, as that's as I've got quite a lot of purple and pink in this design that I've been working on anyway. But yeah, hopefully it just gives it a little bit of extra finishing off, bit of bling to some of these sections that I've not got to yet. In fact, I'm quite liking it just with the gold, to be honest. I'm not sure whether how much of the others I will add. Yeah, just finishes it off nicely, that bit, doesn't it? Should I have them? Let's have those little things a different colour. But what colour? I might try the glittering red, let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. Might do these in red as well, the little dots on the ends. Now I need to try and not put my hand in it, which, knowing me, I will at some point, because clumsy I am. I definitely need another little colour for that. Tempted to do it purple, but this purple is quite dark. I'm thinking it might be a bit too dark. Well, done it now. Oh no, it's okay. It's not too dark. And I've missed some of the lines there. And then I've got another row of gems there. No. I can't, they're too little anyway to do as gems, so they're all gonna be red glitter. Yeah, quite liking that bit. Just gives it a little something. Oh, well, it's showing up for you. Maybe if I move that, it's a bit easier to see. A little bit. Right, so I've just got this little bit behind here, which I think I'm going to do in the gold. Yeah. Okay, so we can carry on down to this bottom wing. And I think I'm going to carry on mainly again with the gold. Was it? Just adds a nice little highlight to it, doesn't it? Just makes it a little bit more interesting. And then these ones, I think I'll do the same as that one. So I'll do the first one in this kind of gold and then the purple underneath. I think they're probably better if I zoom you in a bit. Let's see if we can get a bit more light on this situation as well. And back with the violet. And then I probably should have already done these little ones in red colour pencil, but I haven't, so I'm cheating now. They're going in red pen instead. And then do the outer bit in gold again and try and do it without bleeding one into the other. Leaving them to dry would have probably been a better idea, but especially as these are quite little spaces. Okay, I've got that little bit to do. I think that's going to also be gold. Because you can't have too much gold, can you really? And then I'm also thinking I'll do these stars that are in the background with the gold as well. Again, I was half thinking I might paint them, but I'm gonna chicken out and do it with the pen. Do love these pens. I think these are some of my favourite gel pens. I like the dual hybrids, but these, you always kind of know what you're going to get with these. There's no, is that red going to work black, or it's gold, it's going to be gold. I'm wondering about actually doing the joins. Yeah, I think I might do the joins in the little beads as well. Just gives it a little bit of finish. Okay, so what to do this bit? How bad will this look if I shade it all in the... I'm going to run my pen out here, I'll regret this later. Like it though. Not picking the gold up particularly well. Nib's a bit scratchy. Sorry if the microphone's picking the scratchy nib up. Yep. Cool. I think, why not? I'm going to do these little extra bits in glittery gold as well. There's another red bit there I've missed. Oh. This is the only trouble with these kind of designs. There's so many little bits and pieces. Just find yourself constantly spotting bits you've missed. Like these bits, but I'm thinking I'm going to do those in the pink. Not that it's going to show you. Oh, there we go. Pink. Let's try. Or is that going to be too similar colour? I don't know if that's too... I think that's too similar. I think we'll have to do them red. To go back to that pink one when it's dry. I think it needs to be a bit darker. Well, this isn't feeling much darker. Does that look darker? Yeah, kind of. I think these will need a little bit of highlighting with a white paint pen once this is dry. And then I'll do the stalks in gold again. Okay, so I think, oh, I've got to do that top one. Yeah, we'll do the top one as well. Can't believe I've not smudged one yet. I will. It's gonna happen. Oh, this red pen wants to stop working every so often. Come on. stalks. Careful where I put my fingers, not down some wet bits. Okay. So I've got basically this side of the butterfly all done. I've got a good chunk of this done that I need to nip in, and I've coloured those ones in gold. I think I went off camera a little bit, so I'm going to do those ones in the gold as well. This is obviously the same as this one. I'm going to do that one gold and that one, and do the two flowers the same as the ones I've just done there. So I'll nip back to you once I've done the other side of the butterfly and these bits that are exactly the same. So you're not watching exactly the same thing 4 times basically, it gets a bit crazy. Then I think all I will have to do then is just finally finish off through the centre there, which again I'm going to do with these little pens. And then I'm going to show you how I will touch in with my Artex just in a couple of different bits. I'm not going to do it all because I think it would get a little bit boring to watch. But yeah, I'll finish off the other bits that are exactly the same and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done all the glittery work all over now except for in the little body bit. So I thought we'd finish that little bit off together. I'm going to carry on with the same, so I'll probably use some of the gold, some of the purple, and just emphasise what I'd already been adding really. Amazingly managed not to actually, so far, smudge some. I think I'll do that on gold. So we'll do gold around the head. Gold around this big gem. Gold on these last few lines, I think. I think I'm going to do these little jammy things purple just for a bit of a change. A little bit there, is that the last bit? I think it is the last little bit, isn't it? Just let me double check that I've not missed somewhere. There's bound to be something I've missed somewhere. I see it all the time. Well, I can't see anywhere else I've missed for the moment. So, I shall just quickly put those all back in my pencil case. And I've got out some of my Artex sets. So I have set A, the kind of more pastel-y ones, and I have set B, which I think was one of the latest sets. They have a few pastels in, but they have a few more brighter tones. And I've got some of the other ones out that I think I don't think these ones are waterproof, are they? The black ones, but just so I've got them all to hand. So I'll probably mix and match. Like I say, I'm not going to do the whole thing with you on camera, because that is going to get pretty tedious, following me do every single little bit of it. So what I would normally do at this point, we'll go in a little bit, it's just bits that I want to get rid of the edge of. So for example, I would probably, although I'm making a right mess of it now, let me bring it a bit nearer to me. Take my time and just take some of the lines out. I won't take all of them out because obviously then I'd lose the divisions in between, but what I quite often do is, if I want to keep the divisions but I don't want to keep the line, is I'll pick a pen that's a little bit darker. So this is just an orange. How dark is it? Is that dark enough? Might be dark enough. So it just knocks the line back but without losing the line, because you still want to see some of the pattern. Might have been better with something a little bit darker. And then obviously, like here, you've got the lines for these little baubles. I do want something a little bit darker, I think. How dark is this one? That's pretty dark. So again, the lines are important. I don't want to lose them, but I don't necessarily want them black as part of the pattern. I have no idea whether that was on camera or not, having just looked up. But yeah, basically I've gone over these lines if it wasn't. I'll do the same on the other side. I'll check that you can actually see though this time. So I think that is the downside of zooming in. That sometimes you get carried away with what you're doing and you forget to double check what you can actually see. And the same. Quite often the palest colours in these sometimes do need a second coat, so obviously letting it dry is the better way to go, and then put another layer on to make it just a little bit more opaque. Don't know how well you can see, sorry. It's tricky. On the one hand I kind of need to be quite vertical with how I'm holding the pen to make sure that I'm getting a fine line, but that does mean it can't see very well. Sorry. If you put this pen more on an angle you tend to get a thicker line, so it's a bit more tricky, but you get the idea. So I'm not going to take all the lines out. Kind of the lines in all the purple here are kind of covered anyway by the purple, but then you've got a little bit on the edge that probably, in fact this colour might be okay, just to take that last final bit of line out here and there like that. Again, I know lots of people wouldn't bother, you don't need to. I just like finishing it off if I can see a line that I think, is that adding anything to the piece I'm working on, or would I prefer it out and removed? Then quite often I will take them out. Again, it's personal choice, isn't it? It's personal taste. I don't particularly love seeing the black lines after I've finished. Depends on the drawing though. This is quite patterny, so it's you know, it's not the end of the world to leave them, I don't think, really. And I probably will leave a good chunk of the lines in this, just as I'm videoing and we're at the end of a piece. I thought I may as well show you what I normally do. Mess about, annoying myself. Nope, going off again, aren't I? So yeah, basically you get the difference between the two there. I just kind of think it finishes the edge of the butterfly's wing off nice, and because it makes them a little bit lighter on the edge, which I just prefer the look of. But like you say, as it starts to dry and sink in a little bit, sometimes you do find it needs, like that one was, a second coat. Probably I'll do a second coat on this side. I'll probably do the same on the flowers. In fact, let me find a pink for that, because that I would definitely do. Let me see how light. So the flowers, again, I always do try and remove any black in flowers, because obviously a petal is a really fine, fragile thing. It doesn't need a great big thick line on the edge of it. Fortunately, these ones, you can't really see a huge amount of what's left of the petal line anyway. There's little bits on the edge there. Again, they'll probably need more than one coat, especially as my my set A, my pastel-y set, I've used a lot. And my little nibs, I don't know if it'll focus, are getting very, when you press them against something, they're getting a bit frayy at the bottom, and this colour and the very soft yellow are starting to run out. Sadly. But they're well loved. I've used them a lot. I think I've had them maybe a year now. Not sure, I'll have to look it up actually. But yeah, I'll just finish the edges off like that one, so that you're getting rid of the black lines, different from that one. And then obviously these little things that I've just coloured in the glitter, I've also got quite a heavy, even though I went over it with the glitter, you can clearly see the red line on them. So I want something that's a little bit more subtle. Let me just see which colour I might want. I might try this one, which is, as these have numbers, you may as well see, or not, because it's not going to focus. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. A35. What I might do here is, because this is going to ruin the glitter a bit, I may outline with this, like that, to get rid of the line. But then once it's dry, I may go back over again with the glitter, so that you just see the glitter, not the red line. I suppose it might have been sensible to have done these before I glittered, but I hadn't made my colour decisions, so I couldn't. But I'll probably just let it dry, see how dark the colour is compared to the glitter. If you can really still see that kind of strong outline look, which really I don't want, then I'll probably do another layer of glitter over the top just to even it out a little bit. But you've got that instead now. Not a huge amount different, but you know, it's just, again, it's just personal preference, isn't it? I know a lot of people would be like, ugh, don't know why you're bothering. And I get it. I prefer it when it's done. It's a lot of faffing, I can't lie. sometimes I drive myself daft with it. I just think, just leave it alone. But I can't. Every time I look at them, I'm like, oh, but that line, it's getting on my nerves, that line. Just like to get rid of it a little bit. Just kind of feels a bit more finished off when I start, you know. It's the difference between the two, isn't it? It's, again, totally personal. Normally, I will do the same on all of this gold work, but there is a lot of gold work on this, so I may not do, because obviously you've got quite dot lines around the red gems, which does obviously detract a little bit from the gems. So same, normally I would try and take the black out a little bit like that. Again, I know not everybody would. I will normally and put the highlight back in the gold as well instead of the line. That side's fine because the purple's kind of concealed it anyway. Again, all of this is probably going to need more than one coat because it's ugh, that did a horrible thick line. That is not what I wanted. I got a white. And so on. Well, you get the idea. Again, it's basically the difference between what I've got on this side and what I've got on the other side. And I would obviously keep going. I'm going to get rid of the lines on that bit because my little highlight of the gem doesn't need that black line on it. And I will just keep going, faffing about, adding more paint for a few hours to this piece to get it just at a bit more of a finished off standard. But it's fine as it is, really. I am just nitpicking. Obviously what I've done there I will do on the other four corners. I will probably carry on and do a bit more work, like I haven't done the lines down here, I haven't done the edge on that one. I'll probably edge these little stars because my painting wasn't super precise there anyway, so I'll probably neaten those up a little bit. Like I just started to put some highlights in these little glitter sections. I'll probably do some of the highlights just with the white and some of the gems as well. But it's pretty much finished, and I think you can kind of see what I would carry on doing. It's small little detail work, getting rid of all these little black lines in the pattern just so you see the pattern and not necessarily the line is what I'll carry on doing. But I think I'm going to leave it there in terms of where we're up to videoing. Hopefully this has been of some interest to you along the way. I know it's been a bit stop-starty with the pencil work because it's quite a repetitive little piece this, so it seemed pointless me colouring the same piece 3 times on camera and colouring the same wing pattern twice and the same flower 4 times and all of that. But hopefully it gives you a bit of a flavour into how I've gone about doing this kind of mixed media piece, really, with my grabby paints in the background, Luminance and Holbein for the coloured work, range of kind of glitter pens on top, and then obviously my favourite, my Artex markers just to finish them off. Is kind of how I work quite often on most pieces, really. It's nothing that's particularly exciting to watch. It is just takes time, and I like layering things. I like building up the materials and building up the pencils and building up the other materials on top and underneath and all of that. So hopefully it was of interest to you. Thank you very much for watching if you have. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to show you that you think I do, and you'd like to know how I do it. I will certainly bear it in mind. Obviously, I don't do a huge amount of colour on videos, mainly because I think I'm just doing the same thing over and over. It's not that interesting, is it? But maybe you think it might be interesting. I don't know. Thank you for watching anyway. Hope it's of interest to you. Enjoy your colouring as well. Bye bye.